You could work 18 hours a day for the next 30 years and still never become wealthy, and the reason has nothing to do with how hard you try. That sentence probably bothers you a little, and it should. We are raised on the idea that effort is the whole game. Show up early, stay late, work harder than the next person, and the money will eventually catch up to you. It sounds fair. It sounds like the natural order of things. But if you look closely at how real wealth actually gets built, that story falls apart almost immediately. Hard work is not the problem. Hard work is necessary. But hard work by itself has a ceiling. And once you understand where that ceiling comes from, you will never look at a paycheck the same way again. Here is the uncomfortable math nobody sits you down and explains. There are 24 hours in a day. Take away sleep, take away eating, take away basic life maintenance, and you are left with somewhere around 12 to 16 usable hours if you are being aggressive about it. If your income is tied directly to your hours, if you are paid for your time and only your time, then your maximum possible income is your hourly rate multiplied by a number that can never go higher than about 16. That is the entire ceiling. You can raise your hourly rate. You can grind harder within those hours, but you cannot buy a 25th hour, and you cannot work while you are unconscious. Effort-based income is capped by biology, not by ambition. This is the first idea to sit with. When your income depends on trading your personal hours for money, you have built a business with exactly one employee, one machine, and one location. And that employee needs to sleep, get sick sometimes, and eventually retire. No matter how skilled or dedicated that one employee becomes, the business can only ever produce as much as that single person can physically do. That is not a character flaw, it is just arithmetic. Now compare that to a completely different kind of income, the kind that does not ask how many hours you personally worked today. This is where ownership enters the picture, and ownership simply means having a legal claim to something. A business, a piece of property, shares in a company that keeps producing value whether you are actively working on it or not. Here is a real number that shows the gap in a way that is hard to argue with. According to the AFL-CIO's 2025 Executive Pay Watch report, the average chief executive officer at a company in the S&P 500, which is a list of 500 of the largest publicly traded companies in the United States, earned about $18.9 million in total compensation in 2024. The typical American worker that same year earned around $49,500. That works out to roughly 285 times more for the CEO than for the median employee. Now here is the part that actually matters for this conversation. Almost half of that CEO compensation was not a salary at all. It came in the form of restricted stock, which means shares of ownership in the company itself. The CEO was not simply being paid more for working more hours. Executives do not work 285 times harder than the people below them, and nobody seriously believes that they do. The CEO was being paid through ownership, through a stake in something that keeps generating value around the clock, in every time zone, whether that executive is in a meeting or asleep. That is leverage. That is the mechanism that effort alone can never replicate. The second point follows naturally from the first. Money itself can work without you. If you save enough to buy shares in solid companies, or a rental property, or any asset that grows or produces income on its own, that asset does not stop earning when you go to bed. A single share of a well-run company can increase in value while you are watching a movie, sleeping, or on vacation. Compare that to a job where the moment you stop showing up, the income stops too. One of these income streams needs your constant presence. The other one does not. Over 10, 20, 30 years, the version of income that keeps compounding without requiring your hours will always outgrow the version that is capped by your calendar, even if the person earning it works fewer hours than you do. The third point is about a different kind of leverage, and it is one that anyone can access even without a large amount of starting money. It is called other people's time, and it simply means building something where other individuals contribute their hours toward a result that benefits you as well as them. A small business owner who hires 3 employees is not personally doing 3 times the physical work. They are directing and coordinating effort so that the output of the business is larger than what one person could ever produce alone. This is exactly how a local plumbing company with 5 trucks on the road earns more in a single day than the most skilled solo plumber ever could. Not because the owner works harder with a wrench in hand, but because the owner has structured a system where value is being created in 5 places at once instead of one. The fourth point is leverage through code and media, and this one has become far more accessible in the last 15 years than at any point in history. A software application, a piece of writing, a video, or a course can be built once and then sold or used by thousands or millions of people without being rebuilt each time. A single online course, created once, can be purchased by one customer or by 10,000 customers, and the creator's workload for that second sale, the 10,000th sale, is essentially zero. Compare that to a personal trainer who is paid by the session. To earn twice as much, that trainer needs to physically run twice as many sessions. There is no version of personal training where the 10,000th client requires 0 additional hours. That is the exact difference between a business built on personal effort and a business built on a repeatable, ownable asset. The fifth point ties all of this together, and it is the one that most people never get taught directly. Wealth is not built by how much you earn per hour. It is built by how much of what you create you actually own. A surgeon can earn several $100s for every hour in the operating room, which sounds impressive, and it is a genuinely difficult and valuable skill. But that surgeon still only has those same 12 to 16 usable hours in a day, just like everyone else. Meanwhile, someone who owns even a small stake in a growing business, or a portfolio of dividend-paying stocks, or a rental property that is slowly appreciating, has attached their money to something that does not stop working when they do. This is why, according to Federal Reserve data on household wealth in the United States, the wealthiest households consistently hold a disproportionate share of their net worth in business ownership and stock market equity, while households that rely primarily on wages tend to hold a much smaller share of their wealth in ownership assets. The gap between those two groups is not primarily a gap in effort. It is a gap in what kind of income each group is generating, wage-based or ownership-based. So here is the reframe, and it is the piece that changes everything once it clicks. Hard work is not the villain in this story. Hard work is the fuel. But fuel without a vehicle just burns in place and goes nowhere. The people who build real, lasting wealth are not always the people who worked the most hours in their life. They are the people who at some point took the energy from their hard work and poured it into something they could own. Something that kept running and compounding after they stopped actively pushing it. A paycheck rewards your hours. Ownership rewards your decisions, and decisions can keep paying you back for decades. The goal was never to work harder than everyone else forever. The goal is to work hard enough, for long enough, to buy yourself a piece of something that works even when you are not. If this shifted the way you think about your own income, take a second to like this video so more people come across it, and subscribe to Money Mind Ihala if you want the next parts of this series, because the next video breaks down exactly how someone can start building ownership even while they are still working a normal job with a normal paycheck. That is where this idea stops being theory and starts becoming a plan.